I love to hear the stories of like Phoenix from the ashes, like your lowest point, where you were at and what handholds you found to get yourself out of it. Because ultimately at Soul Boom, we're looking for spiritual tools to help us in our personal transformation and societal transformation. So
I love that. This psychotic breakdown, I should also mention, was very different than anything else I have experienced, in the sense that I was like hearing voices during this era, right? From 2020 to like 2021, when I was getting triggered a lot. And it's something I should have shut down. I definitely should have shut down like anybody triggering me, but I don't know. I just play along with it because for so long in my life, I'm like, this is what makes money. So I think I was already conditioned to be like, well, triggers are funny. And when I get triggered, people like it. And then people do like it until they don't, right? And then they're like, this is too weird.
That's such a weird, self-fulfilling like circle, snake eating its own tail of like, everyone looking at me causes me a breakdown and I get canceled. But when I break down, then I make money and I get even more attention and more people are looking at me. And then that makes me have another breakdown. Like I feel like that's what's happening to America. I feel like you're America right now.
Oh, wow. I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe it's accurate.
Okay.
Hopefully that means America's going to heal soon because I'm on a healing journey.
You're on a healing journey and we need to get America on a healing journey.
We might. I think this is the year, right? Something will switch hopefully for everybody. Hopefully it's not 2020.
I hope so. I hope so. But continue. So you're at this low point, cancellation, documenting this, but voices, what's up?
I really thought like schizophrenia or something. Like I really thought I was developing this like later in life. I was like, whoa, this is crazy, because I was hearing voices, which some people would call them like intrusive thoughts, I guess, but mine were like actual voices where I'm like talking to the person in the room with me, you know what I mean? So I don't know the difference between intrusive thoughts and what I was feeling, because I felt like there was people and I was talking to them in the room. So it was definitely scary. I went to a doctor. They like, you're not schizophrenic, but I was able to obtain schizophrenic medication from someone else. So I was like taking that, which probably wasn't helping because
you got black market schizo medication.
Yes.
So
yes. So
did you run that by anybody? Or
no.
you just kind of like,
no, I went just full on.
You don't usually run stuff by people, right? You just kind of
now
like.
I do. I do have a few people I put things through before I blast it on the internet.
Right.
So I did get some black market, but so this one was just more intense. And then when I had the actual psychotic break, like this is when I'm full on, like I checked myself in. I don't know if I talked about this, but it was not a big deal. Like I checked myself into more of like a retreat, like I don't want to say it, but there's like a really nice one that you can like check into. And it's more of just like a break. They kind of like take your phone and you kind of just like a break from social media, which is kind of all I needed. And kind of when I am in my head now, I just like kind of like don't look at my phone for a couple days, and actually helps.
It's kind of a social media rehab, kind of like instead of putting away the drugs and alcohol, they put away your phone.
Kind of.
Like, you're not allowed to document yourself.
Yes. Yeah. It was actually, it's actually really nice. And I was like, oh,
you get up in the morning and the birds are chirping and they're like, oh, I don't have a phone. How can I document this beautiful morning?
Can I tell you, like that would be me, because there was so many fun things that happened in there and I just wanted to document it just for myself. And I was like, no one's gonna believe me, or like, it's just like, I don't know. It was such a great experience to just be away. This was before I got into like meditation and stuff like that. It was just to like literally go away. And then the voices kind of stopped. I wasn't like talking to people anymore, but maybe more intrusive thoughts were coming in still. I was supposed to get married that same year, so I do have a fiance at this point who's like doing all he can to help me, but he's not someone.
Not the person you're married to now.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Okay.
We met in 2020, so this was like very early on. I was doing, when I met my now husband, taking Xanax, like this is 2020, right? So I was unhinged and he like did not want to date me, rightfully so. I was going through a lot of stuff at the time. But he kind of helped me. That's how like, I kind of like got through it. Like he kind of helped me the best he could. He didn't know about the Xanax or anything like that. So we got engaged. I was like, okay, let me try and like clean it up a little. Stuff was going relatively well, a little voices here and there. But then 2021, when I had the psychotic break, I think he really didn't know how to like help me, other than like be there for me, which did help in itself. So when he stayed with me through my psychotic break, when I like had to go check myself in and I heard noises and I'm like jumping off like into the pool, like naked from like the second floor of our house, like he stuck by me, which I was like really shocked, because I was like, who does that? And who should do that, by the way? I never say like stay with someone if they're acting that way. You don't have to do that, because I put him through so much, but he did. So I was like, all right, let me try and get myself better because we're about to get married. And I'm like, I want to like not embarrass him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, he stayed with me and everyone was telling him, leave Trisha, leave Trisha. Like, she's awful. She's the worst. And he stayed. So I was like, let me try and like work on myself like somehow. So I went back to DBT classes, but it was the meditation that like really, what was it? I think I started with something very simple, either The Power of Now or like The Secret, you know, like the intro to spirituality. I was like, let me read something like this. And like it kind of helped, right? Like the gratitude in the morning, like all those like simple techniques. I
The
was like,
Power of Now is one of
yeah,
my all-time favorite books.
really?
And I love
So
the
good.
audiobook because he has this weird Austrian accent, Eckhart Tolle. So you listen to him
Yeah.
like, you are only now in your place. You take a breath,
Chills.
and that is all that exists. And there is your ego is an illusion. There is only the moment. And as soon as I tap into that, I'm like, like
It's
it,
the
it
audio.
releases everything. Yeah.
I love that you know that because yeah, same. And I know that's like the intro book, right? But I really recommend to anyone who's just like, I need help. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm spiraling. Like, I just feel like that puts you in such a perspective. I think the world in general is headed towards that direction, right? Is like being in the now and stuff. But I feel like for a while it wasn't like that.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you love Soul Boom clips, you're gonna love the original mothership, Soul Boom. Please click and subscribe over there as well.